12:33 is close enough to 12:30, right? Just one more second. Okay. Hello? There we go. OBS. OBS didn't want to load. Okay. So, actually, we can just do this. Okay. Going a bit more serious with my Dragoon Glamour. Just because I don't know. Yeah, it's kind of like a... everyone's doing it, but... God, I fucking love the classic Dragoon stuff, and as... I was actually... So, you see him around occasionally whenever he talks in chat, Tapwater. Apparently, he doesn't like the Dragoon job. Glassol. Fortuitous timing it as always, Yuna. Tataru was about to brief me on the search for our missing comrades. If you would be so kind, then. Absolutely. He'd be pleased to hear that Riol and his men have been making excellent progress. You remember how Flamen helped me to escape the Crystal Braves in Lemselemensa, only to then disappear? Well, according to Riol, she crept aboard a ship bound for Rads at Han, which he's been hiding ever since. He assures me that it won't be long before we're reunited. As for Yida and Papalimo, the remains of their link pearls have been found, and in Pearl Lane, of all places. Rail thinks they must have disposed of them after escaping from the Royal Promenade. Yes, that would make sense. They cannot risk being eavesdropped upon by our betrayers. We're all but certain they fled the city shortly after, though we still don't have a clue where they went. I see. And what of Thancred and Menphilia? I'm afraid I have nothing new to share about those two. But it's not all doom and gloom. The good news is we've enlisted the service of a Charlean scholar, one of the students of Baldesian, to aid in the search, who should be arriving any day now. One of the students, you say? I should very much like to meet this scholar, if time permits. I'm sorry, I just remembered something. I gotta... Okay. Should be good. But first, we must attend to a more pressing matter. Sir Emmerich has summoned the two of us for a private audience. The messenger did not specify what he wished to discuss, only that it was urgent. Assuming you have no objections, Yuna, I suggest we proceed to the congregation forthwith. And mayhap we can meet with the scholar afterwards. Agreed? In that case, I think I'll return to the Forgotten Night for now. Things are liable to fall apart if I'm gone too long, you know. I like it. This is literally... I'm literally just starting the Heavensward post-game stuff, so... The Heavensward itself, I really liked.
Thank you for coming. I wish to speak with you both in a place where privacy was assured.
We quite understand. What was it that you wished to discuss?
With my father's passing, the seat of the Archbishop lies vacant. And so, in accordance with canon law, I have assumed his responsibilities.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
I should stress that this is a temporary measure. It was never intended that the Lord Commander of the Temple Knights serve in this capacity indefinitely. Quite the opposite. The statutes specify that I should surrender my powers as soon as a conclave of the senior clergy and the high houses have named a new archbishop. But in light of recent events, that would not seem appropriate.
I confess I did not expect you to divulge quite so much quite so soon. The details of the Archbishop's plans, perhaps, but the true origin of the war and all it entails?
I too had concerns. But when the Warrior of Light is witnessed returning to the capital upon the back of a dragon, one's options are rather limited. Mayhap I could have concealed certain details, but for how long? And at what risk? Should the truth have come to light in the meantime, how would the people have viewed my silence? After 1,000 years of lies and secrecy, I could not well abuse their trust and hope to be believed. The time for deception has passed. I only wish the people agreed. That some would deny the truth I had anticipated, but not this many. And among the few who acknowledged that my father had to be stopped, no small number questioned our methods.
If they suspect a coup, it will not be long before some turn to violence.
It has already begun, and that on both sides. Men and women of the cloth are being harassed in the streets. Some have even been assaulted in the Broom. Hilda and her people have formed a watch to help us maintain order. But such measures will not prevent the unrest from spreading.
For all our talk of peace, the people remain frightened and confused. For their sake, we must bring the Dragonsong War to a definitive end.
And we should be glad to help you, Sir Emmerich. But what precisely would you have us do?
We wish to treat with the dragons of Annex Trine. To that end, I would trouble you for an escort and an introduction.
Annex Trine? You would speak with Vidofnir then?
We must needs open a dialogue between our peoples. Acting as my representative, Lucia will extend an invitation to their leader, that she might visit us here in Ishgard. Were she still with us, I would of course have beseeched Isel's assistance in this matter. But as she is not, I must ask that you aid us in her stead. Will you do us this favor?
Something a little funny about, asking about, talking with more Dravanians, and it cuts to me in my full dragoon getup.
Thank you, my friends. Lucia, I leave the rest to you.
In the wake of the Archbishop's fall, the nation of Ishgard trembled, the faith of her people shaken to its very core. For 1,000 years had they fought and died, certain of the justice of their cause, only to be told that their holy war was born of the sins of their forefathers. What then for those brave men and women, thus stripped of their righteousness but to despair, to deny the truth and decry its speakers? And what then for those whom they defamed but to hope on, to have faith in a brighter tomorrow? A tomorrow in which man and dragon might live together in harmony, then as distant as the very stars in the heavens. Yet while we dared to hope, deep within his lair the enemy lay, gathering his strength. Nidhogg, now possessed of his 2 eyes and the body of the Azure Dragoon, prizes to which he had laid claim at the very hour of the hero's triumph. As desperately as we sought the solace of peace, the great worm craved the misery of war. Nor was he alone in his misbegotten desire.
I gotta admit, that was a pretty sick shot. I know little of the land these dragons call home, this Annex Shrine. Had you not agreed to escort me, the coming journey would seem a far more daunting prospect. I confess, I myself once shuddered at the thought of it. Yet even the longest journey begins with the first step, does it not? But ere we set forth, Yuna and I must needs inform our comrade of our plans. Very well, I shall see to my preparations. Then let us go and bid farewell to Tataru. And that's also why I decided for explicitly the main scenario until, because I know I don't know the details of how it happens, but I do know we eventually see Estinian return. So I'm kind of metagaming with some knowledge, but for roleplay purposes, I'm doing MSQ as Dragoon. Because it's like, oh, we lost one Azure Dragoon. We've got another Azure Dragoon. So it's like I'm stepping up as the Azure Dragoon. So, what was your secret meeting all about? I'm all ears. A diplomatic mission to Annex Shrine, you say? Well, I suppose it does take precedence. But should your meeting with Vidofnir happen to end early, you might consider rendezvousing with Y'shtola in Idleshire. She'll be there to receive our guest. Don't get me wrong, your meeting with the dragons is terribly important and everything, but this scholar just happens to be time permitting, as I said. We shall endeavor to join Y'shtola, but if we cannot, pray pass on our regards. Let us be off, Yuna. We've kept the first commander waiting long enough. What's going on with my model? What the fuck? Are we good? You're ready then. Good. So am I. Croissant. Path is long, but known to us. From Falcon's Nest, we shall cross the Western Highlands and make for Tailfeather in the Dravanian Forelands. There we can stop to rest and replenish our supplies. A long journey, you say. I always imagined that the first time I set foot upon Dravanian soil would be at the head of an army. And here I am, ready to treat with the brothers and sisters of mine enemies. Full well, full well do I know how difficult it can be to set aside the past. Though it was I who first proposed recruiting Ysela to our cause, I questioned the wisdom of my words almost as soon as I had uttered them, and for a long time after that. Here was a woman with the blood of innocence on her hands. Men, women, children, all slain in the name of the implacable Lady Iceheart. Yet she acknowledged her misdeeds and agreed to join us in common cause. At our side, she fought in service to that greater good, even unto her dying breath. And while that does not absolve her of her sins, I hope that one day she will be remembered not merely as a heretic, but as a misguided soul who dreamt of peace. You ask much, Master Alvino. Yet who can say what might come to pass, should our negotiations bear fruit? Yes, of course. We must press on to Annex Shrine, if you will follow me. Actually, considering changing my mounts on my hotbar, because I have Midgard Sormer. Look at that, a dragoon riding a dragon. Man, I'm glad I unlocked all the ether currents, because you know how ridiculous it would be if I had a dragon mount that couldn't fly? Oh. Thou art ever welcome here, friend of Yasela. But this one, I do not know. Pray forgive us this unannounced visit, Vidofnir. May I present to you Lucia, first commander of the Temple Knights of Ishgard, and our trusted friend. It is an honor to meet you, Vidofnir. I am come as an envoy of Sir Emmerich, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights and acting leader of the Holy See. Indeed, you may speak, Knight. For 1,000 years, man and dragon have been locked in an endless cycle of bloodshed and sorrow. To our shame, we long believed your kin to be the architects of this war, but now we know the truth, that King Thordan and his Knights 12 did willfully betray and murder the Great Worm, Radatoskr, shattering the peace between our peoples. For 1,000 years, our leaders conspired to conceal this truth, a truth which was at last laid bare by the Warrior of Light, the Azure Dragoon, and Yasela. Alas, a deception so intricately wrought cannot be undone in a moment, and our people labor to accept the truth. After an eternity of war, who would dare to dream that peace could at last be within our grasp? Yet dream we must, as Yasela once did, and we must make that dream a reality, as she could not. We humbly beseech you, Vidofnir, join hands with us in friendship once more before the eyes of my people in Ishgard. A most unexpected invitation. I have heard your request, Knight. However, I cannot yet give you mine answer. May I ask why? This matter concerneth my sire. He must needs be consulted. Moreover, the Nath grow bold, even as they did before, and I would not leave my people at the mercy of the swarm. Then we will wait. After 1,000 years at war, we shall not give up on peace for want of patience. Ah, fear not, Knight. Thou shalt have mine answer within thy lifetime. So soon. My humble thanks. I shall bear your words to my lord forthwith. Until we meet again. Speaking of... what was... Was it here? No. Yeah, here. Ooh. I was considering changing my title to the Azure Dragoon, but I don't know. I've had the heart of the party for so long. Given the circumstances, I would say that went rather well. To be frank, I am surprised our proposal was not rejected outright. Whether aught will come of it remains to be seen, however. Mayhap I should take this opportunity to speak with some of the other dragons. But you need not wait for me. The return journey holds no fear for me now. Well, if you have no further needs of our services, we shall continue on to Charlayan. We hope to welcome a scholar who has agreed to aid us in search for our missing comrades. Then I pray your journey is as swift and uneventful as ours was. And thank you again for sparing the time to assist us, even when such grave matters remain unresolved. I can think of no graver matter than a 1,000-year war, one which our friends gave their lives to see ended. Suffice it to say, I would willingly make 1,000 such journeys to ensure that their sacrifice was not in vain. Of that I have no doubt, Master Alphinaud. I only hope the fates will not hold you to your word. Why is it given, like, so little XP? It's like 5,000? That's like fucking pocket change. So it would seem we have time to greet the scholar after all. How delightful. I shall be interested in to hear how she means to go about finding Minfilia and Thancred. I can only assume she is privy to some new investigative technique. In any event, our first order of business is a rendezvous with the Ishtola in Idleshire. I was wondering how this was going to tie into the raid. And I think this is how because I think the raid shit is the big dome thing in the middle of the hinterlands. Ah, Yuna, it's good to see you. I confess I had assumed your business in Annex Shrine would detain you longer. Did your meeting with Vidofnir go well? It went better than expected. She must discuss Sir Emmerich's proposal with Resvelger, of course, but she seemed amenable to the suggestion. What of our Charlayan guest? Has she arrived yet? She has, but when I explained that you would be joining us, she asked if she might use the intervening time to explore. I agreed to meet her outside on Front Bridge.
I'm terribly, terribly sorry to have kept you all waiting.
You need not apologize. We arrived but a moment ago ourselves. Pray, allow me to introduce Kryle, who has recently come from the Sharlayan motherland. She has generously offered to assist us.
Oh, please, think nothing of it. A trip to Eorzea was long overdue. You must be the Warrior of Light. Yes, you certainly do look the part. A pleasure to meet you at last, miss. And who is that I spy but young Alpha No Levieux himself? I dare say someone's grown an ilm or two in my absence. Or are those lifts in your boots?
We, Miss Kryle and I met at the Studium years ago. I shall forever be indebted to her for her sage guidance.
It was no small task keeping him out of trouble, believe you me. The youngest ever to enter the Studium, him and his sister, 11-year-old prodigies. Suffice it to say, social graces were not among his list of talents. Striding up to his seniors on his first day, head held high. What was it he said again?
Thank you, Kryle.
For what? I haven't finished yet. Would you care to attempt a more dexterous deflection?
No, now I'm interested. What was it that you said?
Mayhap we should save this delightful conversation for a more fitting occasion, when pressing matters do not demand our undivided attention.
No, we got time. Come on. What was it?
A bit much, but better. I can tell you have been putting your skills to use here in Eorzea. Henceforth, I trust you will dazzle me with your eloquence at the first time of asking. Right, on to more pressing matters. Finding Minfilia and the other missing scions.
I gather you have new information to share with us.
A new approach, actually. Tataru recounted the tale of your escape, and it gave me an idea. Simply put, assuming Thancred left some manner of trail when you whisked him away, as is almost always the case with teleportation magics, I am confident I can find and follow it.
Then what are you waiting for?
The wherewithal to do it. The fact is, my abilities aren't quite up to the task. Not in themselves, anyway. If I had Master Matoya's crystal eye, on the other hand...
Then let us all call on her forthwith. I think it best you explain your plan to her in person.
Are you serious? Yeah, so those other arrows are for dungeons that I've unlocked but have yet to do, because I mainly just want to do them during the roulettes and get their quests finished later. Because they're not, like, super important. But it is nice to have a little more variety in the dungeon duty. So, you did say we were headed for a cave, did you not? Because I certainly don't see a cave nearby. Is Master Matoya meeting us on the way or something? I've heard many stories of Master Matoya, some quite flattering, others less so. Rest assured they are all true. This way, and have care where you tread.
Oh, is that trouble I smell? Or did you forget to wipe your boots on the way in?
Forgive us, Master Matoya. We will be sure to wipe them on the way out. And may I say how glad I am that age has not yet deprived you of your senses.
Ever so quick-witted, aren't we? To the detriment of your manners. Well, out with it then. What do you want?
Pray, allow me to introduce myself, Master Matoya. I am Kryl, of the students of Baldessian. I hope you will excuse our unannounced visit.
Baldessian, you say? Ah, yes. The old coot set up shop on the Isle of Val, didn't he?
Regrettably, our order's headquarters and the isle itself were obliterated by a magic of immense power. I have the blessing of light to thank for my own preservation.
Kryl, you too possess the Echo.
Well, yes, of course I do. Our order is devoted to uncovering the mysteries of Hydaelyn and interpreting her will, particularly through the study of her gift to us. It was in the course of these studies that I met and subsequently befriended Minfilia. She and I have rather a lot in common.
I had no idea.
You weren't supposed to. Not that I wanted to deceive you, you understand, but precautions had to be taken.
Yeah, I'd imagine.
Yes, that's all well and good, but you still haven't told me why you're here.
The students of Baldessian are gone, and there is naught I can do to change that. But the signs of the Seventh Dawn can yet be restored, and my dear friend found. You have in your possession an ancient crystal of light, one you call your crystal eye. I believe I can use it to focus my abilities and locate one of the missing scions.
And there I was, thinking you might want to make use of my years of experience. Oh, wait here.
Long did I ponder the nature of this crystal and its familiar radiance, but never did I suspect it was a crystal of light.
On the cusp of an umbral calamity, souls blessed with the power of the Echo invariably appear. To aid these, her chosen warriors, Hydaelyn bequeaths to each a slither of her strength in the form of a crystal of light. But as her strength wanes, so too does the potency of her gifts. This crystal, born of an earlier era, is infused with a power far greater than those of this age.
You could travel the length and breadth of the land and not find a crystal even a fraction as pure. Its value is beyond measure, as are the risks inherent in its use.
No two manifestations of the Echo are alike. I, for example, can converse with beings of every shape and size, excepting beasts, contrary to what others would have you believe. Language has nothing to do with it, of course. Rather, I am sensitive to the whispers of the soul. Their intent, their very essence even, the traces of which serve to guide the elementals to Y'shtola.
Is that a cheeky reference to the Final Fantasy V character? Because she's named after a Final Fantasy V character who could talk to animals. And the explicit exception of animals. It's like, no. It's like, yes, I am Kryl, but I'm not that Kryl.
Far-fetched though it may sound, I believe that with your crystal eye, I may be able to pick up where they left off and follow the remaining trail to Thancred. That is, if I have your permission.
Well, the poor sod's not going to find himself. So, as long as you don't drop it or take it out of my sight, you may do with it what you will.
Thank you, Master Matoya. Then let us begin.
That's gotta be.
From the Black Shroud, the trail continues to the north and west, towards a mountain, the foot of Som Al. It was a near thing, but he was not deposited within the rock. I think.
The hunters of Tailfeather know those lands well. I say we begin our search there.
Actually, I could just teleport. Were I to find myself in an unfamiliar wilderness, my first instinct would be to seek out signs of civilization. Ordinarily, perhaps, but in his wounded state, he may not have wished to risk contact with strangers of unknown allegiance. Yet, even had Thancred chosen to remain in the forest, the hunters would surely have stumbled across his trail. Tailfeather doesn't strike me as an isolated outpost, though. Merchants and traders pass through reasonably regularly, do they not? In which case, we'll need to provide a more detailed description when we question the locals. Fear not, Cryle. I have already prepared several sketches of Thancred for that very purpose. This is impressive. You drew him from memory. A skill I acquired some years ago for reasons I no longer remember. I propose we split into 2 pairs. Ishtola and I will inquire at the outlying encampments, while Yuna and Cryle question the residents of Tailfeather. Okay, afterwards we shall regroup near Loth Estvoth and share our findings. Okie dokie. Hard to imagine he was once a boy who practiced drawing for hours to impress young ladies. Lopard. Searching for a friend of yours. Let's have a look then. No, ain't seen him around. Sorry. What's that you've got there? A sketch. Can't say I know the face. You say he's something of a warrior? Heard a tale the other day about a Hurrian vagabond who brought down a bandersnatch by himself. In style. Way they tell it, he was dancing with the beast like it was the bell of the bleeding bull. Sounds like your man. Does sound like my man. It sounds very much like my man. A Hurrian man. We're not exactly rare, you know. Could you be more specific? I did spy this one bloke a while back. Didn't get a good look at his face, but it could have been him. This was beyond the forest, as I recall. Along the river to the west of Tailfeather. I remember thinking he wasn't much of a hunter. The lad was making no effort to cover his tracks, see? That, and he was carrying an axe instead of a bow. Curious. It's not the weapon I seem to recall him using. Finished. In that case, I think we've learned everything we can here. Let's see what the others have found out. My apologies for our late arrival. We thought it wise to question as many hunters as we could. Many have made camp in inaccessible locations, ideal for hunting game. Not so receiving visitors. Nevertheless, our time proved well spent. There have been countless sightings of an exceptionally capable Aryan hunter with whom no one is familiar. Though none chanced to see the man's face, his height and build matched Thancred's description, as does his fighting prowess. They did say he was carrying an axe, though. So you have heard the same tales. Be that as it may, we yet want for conclusive proof. Mayhap this is unrelated, but I heard a curious tale regarding a Voth trader. Came to Tailfeather in search of garments fit for a man of refinement, which seemed a rather curious description for one of his kind. You were implying that Thancred sent a Voth to market in his stead. Why would he not go himself? Well, if you recall, you yourself emerged from the live stream as naked as your name day. It is a scene I shall never forget. Is it now? Well, I was pleased to see you. I mean, it was a simple statement of fact. It stands to reason that Thancred found himself in the same predicament. Oh, well, bro, just shut up. In any case, if he had dealings with the Vath, he should be able to tell us, no? Quite right, Ryle. Quite right. Whoa. Are we fighting him again? Well, what are we waiting for? For all we know, Thancred could be waiting for us in Loth Astvath. Is it Voth or Vath? I think it's Vath. We must go and see the Vath right away. Come along, everyone. Come along. Man. Great hunters, we welcome you once more to Loth Astvath. What do you seek this day? We seek a man with whom we are told you may have had certain dealings. How curious. The hunters tire of godly sport and pursue mortal prey. No, he is not prey, but a friend, long missing. Good. He is a friend to the Vath as well, one with whom we have traded many times. Truly. We were quite certain it was this man. There is no doubt. The fledgling clothed in skins came to us from Somall, lost and weak. He offered meat and hides in trade, and in exchange we tended his wounds. He brought us much flesh, so skilled a hunter he was. Much flesh. When he asked for garments, we were glad to provide them. And where is he now? Gone to Loth Ust-Noth. Not long ago, when he heard that one mind had summoned our god once more. Ravana is returned? Vidofnir did say the Nath had grown as before. But what could Thancred hope to accomplish by himself? Honored Elder, we thank you for your help. Would that we could repay this kindness ere we depart, but we must hasten to our comrade's side. Go, great hunters, lest the Nath claim him as a sacrifice. Do I have to physically stop and fight everyone?
Who else could be? Thancred! It could be Thancred! We must hurry!
Excuse me. God damn.
This day, we reclaim the reins of history. This day, we rid ourselves of the Ascians forever!
Fools playing at heroes, all of you. Is this how you believe you can save your world?
We can and we will, Ascian. You shall see. Or perhaps you will not! So you are the Warrior of Light, the savior of Eorzea.
And you are...
It's a wonder you didn't come sooner, what with the primal and all. Lost a step, have we?
Have
I've
care.
been...
The ether moves strangely around him.
It would seem we share a common enemy. Mayhap you would tell us who you are.
Shall we show them?
Hey. Yeah, damn.
Not very sporting of you to interrupt. But so be it. Mark well our faces, Warrior of Light. For we are the Warriors of Darkness. Walkers of a different path. And we shall meet again.
Warriors of Darkness? Really?
Thancred, are you all right?
Pleasantries can wait. I'd rather not be here when the Nath arrive. Agreed?
I kind of like his new voice. So do we get to see him? Do we get a flashback of him coming out of the ether teleportation? Do we get to see?
Suffice it to say, our reunion was not at all as I pictured it. Waiting until the last instant to join the fray, 'Tis plain you have not lost your appetite for the dramatic.
My appetite for the dramatic? Have you forgotten the circumstances of our parting? The heroic last stand, the tunnel filling with light, and then... Had I known you intended to use forbidden magics to deliver me to some god's forsaken wilderness, I would have thanked you in advance.
Thancred.
If nothing else, you might have warned me that I would emerge from the live stream in the altogether.
We didn't get to see it. Fucking mouse, get out of the way.
Eventually, I managed to fashion knives from some obsidian I found, and set about hunting for meat and hides.
Stupid rat, get out of the way.
Given that I'm not all that skilled in leatherworking, it's probably for the best that I met the Vath before I was reunited with you.
So you were the fleshling clothed in skins of whom the storyteller spoke?
A description which fit me as ill as the skins themselves. Happily, I was able to trade with the Vath for garments better becoming a man of refinement. From them, I learned of Ravana, and of the great warrior who had once laid him low.
Wonder who that could be.
And thence did you conclude that were you to track the Primal's movements, it would surely bring you into contact with the Scions once more?
It seemed a reasonable assumption. I could think of no one else with your enthusiasm for slaying beastmen gods. Until now, that is.
Ah, yes. The self-proclaimed Warriors of Darkness. 'Tis only fitting that they stand in opposition to the Warrior of Light, I suppose.
I glimpsed the leaders past, if only for a moment. They were confronting a man in black. An Ascian, I think.
Did you not read the subtitles? He was
If these
clearly...
warriors are capable of doing battle with
He was
Ascians and
clearly
Primes
called an
both,
Ascian.
They must be possessed of powerful protection. Protection not unlike the Echo.
I'll be back shortly. For some reason, well, I know the reason, but because of the thematic elements. But while I was up and about, I could only think of the bit in Herald of Darkness from Alan Wake 2, where it's like, show me the champion of light. I'll show you the Herald of Darkness. You know, that bit. And apologies for my horrific singing voice, but here we are. Blessed with the power of the echo and driven to put down primals. Despite his declaration that they walk a different path, I struggle to see how their goals conflict with ours. Nor is that the only oddity. I find it passing strange that such exceptional individuals should have wholly escaped our notice until now. Surely we would have heard rumors and attempted to recruit them to our cause. I recall no such adventurers, and I would not soon forget their like, nor would any of us, I think. One of our primary duties was to scour the city-states for promising candidates, which is how Thancred found Yuna. Ah, the memories. It seems like only yesterday that you slew your first primal. Speaking of which, I had the distinct impression that it was not the first time that band of merry men and women had killed a god. I labor to believe that a band of preternaturally gifted adventurers has been traveling the land, slaying primals without our knowledge. It would imply gross negligence on our part. Speculation will avail us not. There's far too much we do not know. For the present, we must needs concentrate on what we do know, namely that Lord Ravana is no more. Vidofnir must be informed. The news may render her more receptive to Sir Emmerich's invitation. Since you seem to have affairs here well in hand, I shall take my leave. Simply being in the vicinity of this colony is giving me a stinking headache. If you have need of me, I shall be with Master Matoya. I would beg her assistance with the search for Minfilia. Wait, Minfilia is missing? I thought she escaped with Yuna. I shall explain on the road. Much has happened in your absence. Oh, there you are. I had not thought to see thee again so soon, mortal. If thou seekest the night, know that she hath long since departed for Ishgard. My thanks, Vidofnir, but it was not for her that we came. We bring good tidings for you and yours. Lord Ravana, who had been summoned by the the Nath has again been laid low. Truly, once more you mortals have succeeded where mine own kind did fail. You have our deepest thanks. Would that we could take credit. The god fell by another's hand. Another? Revelation upon revelation. Regardless, it is cause for celebration. The Nath will have no choice but to withdraw. But to another matter, I have tidings for thee as well. Regarding the Ishgardian's invitation. As promised, I brought the matter to my sire. Hearken to his answer now. Excuse me. For 1,000 years I have mourned my beloved, who gave her life to forge a peace thy king betrayed. Such was my lot, until a child of Ishgard came unto me. For want of warmth, she wrapped herself in a dream. Yet the world will remember her deeds. For truth, she fought. For justice, she sinned. For redemption, she sacrificed, and became as light. To follow one's heart, to have faith in one's convictions, be it for weal or be it for woe. Such is the folly and the glory of man and of dragon. He hath entrusted the choice to others, and we have made it. We will keep faith with you who walk in the light. Then you accept Sir Imric's invitation. Let it be known that I, Vidofnir, shall journey unto Ishgard on behalf of my people. We are honored to receive your answer and will convey your words to our allies without delay. It is happening, Isela. Would that you were here to see it. God damn. Oh, I need a tissue.
Even as the Scions celebrated the return of a long-lost friend, honorable men plotted to deprive them of another. Honorable men, to whom Sir Emeric was no hero, but a scheming patricide. Honorable men who would fain wash the paving stones of foundation with the tyrant's blood.
What the fuck?
Honorable men whose knife in the dark was the spark which set the city aflame, and who sang as it burned.
Eesh. Let us not keep Sir Emeric waiting. Are you quite well, Thancred? Yes, quite well. Forgive me. You have given me rather a lot to digest. This whole affair with the Ishgardians and the Dervanians, and our friends nowhere to be found. 'Twould seem there's no end to our troubles. We can but face them head on, one at a time. For now, we must apply ourselves to our allotted tasks and leave the others to theirs. Remember, Thancred, we found you, as they found me. In time, we will find Ida and Papalymo and Menphilia as well. These troubles will soon be but a memory, one which we will look back on together. Pray do not misunderstand. I did not mean to imply that it would be otherwise. I merely wish that I had rejoined our grand adventure at one of its more triumphal moments. Despite your recent accomplishments, the mood here is less than celebratory. But I have no doubt that we will enjoy many more glorious victories soon enough, and you may rest assured that I will play my part in them to the very hilt. I know you will. So then, to the congregation. I don't feel awesome about this. You have returned. In this, at least the fates are kind. Greetings, First Commander. It pleases me to inform you that Vidofnir has accepted Sir Emmeric's invitation. She has. These are glad tidings indeed. Would that the Lord Commander were here to hear them. Ah, is he otherwise engaged? You could say that. Sleeping off a knife to the guts. What? What happened? Will he live? Why the fuck is it so dark on OBS? What the hell? The chirurgeons. The hell is that word? The chirurgeons tell me he will make a full recovery. But had Lord Edmond and Lord Artoriel not been on hand when the assassin struck, he would not have been so fortunate. For a mercy, they subdued the fiend before he could land the telling blow. The attack was just beginning, though. Not long after, buildings all around the city, including several of ours, burst into flame. Bastards caught us completely by surprise. We've been dousing the fires, but for everyone we put out, it seems like 2 more start up. Casualties are mounting, especially in the Broom. Tis plain these fires were started by the assassin's conspirators. Until they have been rounded up, there will be no end to this. Will you help us find them? Then let us be about it. Give me 1 second. Interesting. The flames are spreading. We must needs begin our investigation immediately. Witnesses must be found. Suspects must be identified. Have you been able to determine the precise locations where the fires were set? I say that mayhap there is a pattern. If there is, we have yet to discern it. Fires have been reported throughout the city in both the pillars and foundation. Indeed, given the size of the area affected, I think it best to divide our forces. Master Alphino and Mistress Y'shtola, I would have you take charge of the investigation in Foundation. As you wish. Mayhap Tataru can be of assistance as well. Me and Yuna and me get the pillars. Oh, they'll like me up there. Only question is, will the grizzled old rogue striking a pose over there be joining us? Thancred, of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. And may I say, what a pleasure it is to meet you too, my lady. I'll bet. The name's Hilda. A scion, eh? And there I was thinking I'd found a fellow ruffian among all these illustrious personages. Does Hilda have an eye for Thancred? Is that what I'm picking up? I will remain here to coordinate the fire-quenching effort. If you learn aught of value, pray inform me immediately. That is all. While we could begin by sifting through charred rubble and questioning random passerby, in my experience, every town has at least one individual who can be counted on to know things he or she should not. Typically that would be Hilda. Oh, the infamous Lord Emmanuel de Forton. Or him. Lover of women and gossip, of women and wine, though neither care for him that much. They say he could gossip for Ishgard. Just the sort of fellow I had in mind. Capital suggestion, Yuna. He'll be at the Crow's Ear most like, making an effort to be seen. So let's go and see him. Grizzled I will accept, but old. Listen, Thancred, it's okay. We love Dilfs around here. Well, if it isn't Yuna, dearest of all my friends, you're looking rather glum. Something the matter, old girl? Ah, yes, the arsons. Dreadful business, that. And awfully curious, wouldn't you say? There doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to it at all. Naturally, we've doubled the guard outside the manor, along with most of the other houses. Can't have the old pile going up in flames after all. Oh, in case you were wondering why the Hoplon is awash with refugees, the lower levels of the vault have been opened up have been opened to those unfortunate souls who have lost their homes. Sir Emmerich's orders, from what I hear. Remarkable. Not even a knife in the ribs can keep him from his duties. Actually, old girl, if you were thinking of questioning the refugees, I should be more than happy to accompany you to the Hoplon. While you conduct your inquiries, I could offer words of comfort to the distressed and despondent young maidens. Wait a moment. I know what that is. You're giving me one of your looks, aren't you? You do me an injustice, old girl. I will have you know my heart yearns for but one rose, prickly though she may be. I sense you remain unconvinced. Very well. If it will help to prove the purity of my intentions, I shall gracefully rescind my offer. Now run along and catch those arsonists. That was not entirely what I had hoped for. Whose idea was it to come here again? Well, I don't know. Never mind. For our next step, I suggest we divide our efforts. While you question the refugees in the Hoplon, Yuna, I shall investigate the locations where the fires were set. Would you be so good as to join me, Hilda? You know what? I reckon I would. Can't have you roaming about in an unfamiliar city by your lonesome, can we? You'd only get robbed blind and left shivering in your small clothes. You know, for it supposedly being crowded with refugees, seems pretty empty. Come, my brothers and sisters. There's food and shelter enough for all in the Basilica. Alone's blessings be upon you, Father. I confess we were not sure if we should come. There are so many unbelievable tales these days about the Archbishop and Sir Emmerich and the Dravonians. Trust in your heart, brother, and pay no heed to the lies of lesser men. They seek only to lead you astray. Do you require succor as well, miss? So the Temple Knights have begun their investigation at last. Good. This madness has gone on far too long. Would that I could do something to aid you in your search, but I have a duty to these poor souls. Farewell, and may the Fury guide your steps. There was a man with a satchel. I saw him kneeling outside the window, and then there was smoke everywhere, and it was so hot and I couldn't breathe. I don't remember how I made it out. I suppose I must have climbed. Maybe my arm is getting better after all. Ours was one of the first homes to be claimed, but I didn't see how the fire began. It was only when I heard our neighbors shouting that I looked outside and saw the flames. We barely escaped with the clothes on our backs. Were it not for the church's generosity, I don't know what we'd do. There you are. Ah, there you are. Anything to share? We will require more than the muddled testimony of a traumatized girl if we are to identify the culprits. While you were questioning the refugees, we inspected the scenes of several of the fires, including one near St. Raymond's Cathedral, and another near the tribunal. For a mercy, neither structure suffered significant damage. Some might say they were spared by the grace of the Fury. Others might question how such ruthlessly efficient arsonists contrived to fail so miserably on the two occasions where their target was a bastion of Ishgardian orthodoxy. Nothing conclusive, of course, but it does give one cause to wonder. Alphino will doubtless have an opinion. Where are you? Silence will avail you not, sir. Ah, Yuna. I was just about to summon you. As you can see, we have detained a suspect. We found this man loitering near the remains of one of the stricken buildings. According to eyewitnesses, he was also present before the fires broke out. We wished to have words. He did not, so we insisted. Let me go, damn it. You've got the wrong man. My, but you reek of oil. And are those burns on your hands? An occupational hazard, I suppose. But tell me, does arson pay well? I'm a victim, you imbecile. Look at me. Aye, that you are. After a fashion. You should know that your pious patron has already spun us a delightful yarn about how his pet mongrel slipped the leash and said about burning half the city to the ground. Not very noble of him, I grant you. But then these highborn types rarely do show loyalty to their pets. In fact, he called you rabid and begged us to put you down. That's bollocks. He's the one what told me to keep going. Even a sinner such as me could find salvation in the Fury's work, he said. I'd left it behind, tried to with all my heart, said my prayers every day like a good man. But he came to me. He came to me. And there you have it. Hilda, would you be so kind as to escort our friend here to the congregation? Aye, so long as you don't mind if he's limping when he gets there. That was incredible, Thancred. But how did you know he would confess? Well, I have seen his like before. A troubled soul, manipulated by men of power and wielded as a weapon. I could not be certain, of course, but given the stakes, I thought it worth the risk. And if our captive had called your bluff. Must we entertain hypotheticals? The world, as it is vexing enough. Thank you, Thancred. Whether by luck or judgment, we have at last confirmed that these arsons were orchestrated by a person or persons of influence. I think it best that we now return to the congregation and discuss how best to proceed. On behalf of the Holy See of Ishgard, I thank you all. The man you apprehended is being interrogated as we speak, though he fell silent upon realizing that we had not turned his master. He will soon tell us what he knows, one way or another. Pardon the intrusion, First Commander. Ah, Lord Artorial. Are you come to see your father? He is attending Sir Emmerich in his chambers at present. I am. He bid me bring this salve. Then do not let me detain you. And thank you for your kindness, my lord. In times of trouble, every man must do his part. Would that I could do more. My lord Artorial did not seem to be in the best of spirits. 'Tis little wonder, Master Alphinaud. His father is widely slandered, and his half-brother not yet cold in the grave. Ugh, I need to sell some shit.
I do not mean to diminish our accomplishments, but until we identify the ones who ordered the fires set, our work is far from finished.
Between the various conservative and religious factions in Ishgard, I dare say there's no shortage of parties who would like to see the status quo preserved. Do any likely suspects spring to mind?
Far too many to count.
You shouldn't be up, dude.
Lord Commander, your wounds.
Are healing well. Thank you. Time is of the essence. Lest we forget, these men would sooner put their own city to the torch than see it change. When our enemies learn that we have apprehended their arsonist, there is no telling how they will react.
Lord Commander, an armed mob has seized control of the vault.
And now we know. Tell us what happened, sir. Spare no detail.
We were directing refugees into the Basilica, as you ordered, when all of a sudden, men brandishing weapons were all around us. It happened so fast, my lord. We had no time to respond. They've taken the refugees hostage and barricaded themselves inside the vault.
And they sent you to deliver their demands.
They, the true brothers of the faith, demand that a conclave to select the next archbishop be held forthwith. Furthermore, they declare that you, Lord Commander, are guilty of patricide and high treason, and that you must surrender yourself at once to receive of the Fury's judgment.
Ridiculous! I mean, do they honestly think that executing Sir Emmerich would change anything? That the truth will somehow die with him?
These fundamentalists rage against the passing of the old ways, unable to accept there can be no going back.
Given the fanciful nature of their demands, a peaceful resolution does not seem likely. If the hostages are to be rescued, it will be by force, I fear.
Agreed. Lucia, take a contingent of knights and establish a perimeter outside the entrance.
At once, Lord Commander.
Hilda, I need your people out in force throughout the Broom. When word spreads of the situation, the friends and family of the hostages may try to take matters into their own hands. I will not give these militants more targets. I shall lead the assault on the vault. Master Alphino, can I count on the support of the Scions?
Of course.
We are in your debt.
I shall join you as well, Lord Commander.
Your assistance is most welcome, Lord Atwarel. To arms, then, friends. Time is against us.
Okay, so it's Artoriel. Artoriel, not Artoriel. Is this another version of the Vault raid? Or duty? Not raid, duty. Yeah, listen well. We will enter the Basilica silently via this gate. According to our latest reports, there are at least 6 hostages being held within. The numbers and readiness of the true brothers of the faith are unknown. I am told one claimed to have served under Thordan the Seventh. Might the same be true of the rest? Given the swiftness with which they seized control of the vault, I think it highly likely, yes. Which means that they may well possess the knowledge required to turn the building's defenses against us. Be that as it may, we have no choice but to press on. Lord Artoirel, you are a brave man and true, and none would dare question your honor if you chose not to risk your life in this endeavor. For you certainly wish to join us. I am no stranger to the battlefield, Sir Emmerich. My arm will not falter. My shield will not break. Alone as my witness, we will bring these fanatics to justice. Well said, my lord. Friends, follow me. Before we do anything, Oh. Dude. What?
Down with you!
Which hostage? What? They're not... Okay. Sir Semionard, lay down your arms and release the hostages, and you will be shown mercy. I give you my word. The words of a heretic and kinslayer. I would sooner trust a dragon. Activate the knights. We shall show the hostages the same mercy he showed the Archbishop. Wait. Those knights were sick. What? Giant robots with horse heads? So, where do I go? Do I just gotta fucking poke around? There. How do I get there? through here. Here. No, not here. Yeah, so we're probably gonna have to reset, but okay, but I don't know. Okay, well, hold on. That's okay. Kind of bullshit, because either I'm blind or they just weren't spawning. Probably some combination of both.
Down with you!
Come on. Okay. So... got over here. Hello? Can I... It wasn't letting me untie them. But where indeed? It's an excellent question. Oh, it's only those two? Oh, okay, well. Oh, the hostages rescued is automatically going up, so... the others... Okay. I see. Yippee. Oh, and here's the sixth. Oh, we automatically go forward. I see.
Where is he? Where is he?
Come no closer!
You have nowhere to run. Release the girl and surrender.
Oh. Then.
Surrender to whom? The blasphemer who throws wide the gates to our enemy? Who breaks bread with him and calls him brother? Ungodly swine! I would sooner die than surrender to you.
Is it godly to spill the blood of an innocent child? To burn the homes of your brothers? Tell me, priest, is that godly?
Do not speak to me of godliness, heathen! Your father's blood is on your hands, as is hers!
What? But I...
Vidofne!
Aw. Poor kiddo.
Well met, knight. Mayhap I chose an inopportune moment.
You chose the most opportune moment, actually.
Not at all. Pray forgive us this most unworthy reception. We are honored to have you with us, and right glad of your aid.
Fortune delivered the child unto me. I had but to receive her.
Thank you for saving me.
Thou art welcome, child.
Never did I think to be indebted to so unexpected a savior. But full glad am I to be so.
Friend of Izel, warrior of warriors, I had hoped to meet with thee. I bear a message from my sire.
From Gracefelder?
Upon returning to our lands, Nidhogg's shade did sing unto his brood, and they for skies unknown did then take wing. This thou must know, for your fates are inextricably bound.
What of Estinian? Is he truly lost to us?
Such matters are beyond my ken. I but bear my father's words. Take from them what thou wilt. Fare you well, mortals.
So it is as they say then. A great white dragon swooped down from the heavens to rescue an innocent child.
A most unexpected turn of events, but not an unwelcome one. The people will not soon forget this day.
Yet how will they choose to remember it, Sir Emmerich? And will these events serve to bring man and dragon closer together, or drive a deeper wedge between brothers? After 1,000 years, the world these men once knew is changing, and with ungentle swiftness to boot. Though their actions are misguided, their sentiments are only to be expected. You may be sure that others will rally to their cause. I share your desire for lasting peace with the Javanians, I do. But I would not see it built on the bones of our countrymen, nor on our own. I see much of Horsefon you, and I could not bear to mourn the passing of another son.
Lord Edmund.
This has been a day of surprises, has it not? It's but a pity Vidofnir could not stay longer. Yes, I think it's fair to say that she timed her departure rather less well than her arrival. Well timed scarcely does it justice, but 1 moment later would have been a moment too late. Let us pray that the Ishgardians who yet harbor doubts will take these events to heart and accept the truth of Sir Emmerich's words. Well, 'tis only meet that I inform Tataru of what has occurred here. If you have need of me, I shall be at Fort Tom Manor. Allow me to accompany you. Tataru would never forgive me if I left for the Rising Stones without saying goodbye. A moment, Yuna. I wish a word. Tell me, this Thancred seemed quite well to you. He got on well enough with Hilda. Of that I have no doubt. His time in the wilderness did not deprive him of his charm. But that is neither here nor there. What concerns me is his etheric flow, which I fear has been irreparably disrupted. As a result, I strongly suspect that his ability to manipulate ether has been compromised. Simply put, Thancred may no longer be able to wield magics. It would do much to explain why he chose to remain within the wilderness instead of seeking us out. he would have been compelled to rely solely on traditional methods of travel, significantly prolonging his journey. And when he learned that a nearby beast tribe was making preparations to summon a primal, it may well have seemed more sensible to wait. But this is still little more than speculation. Until I have proof, pray speak no word of it. Of course, yeah. Right then. I should be on my way. Trial may have charmed Master Matoya for now. Who can say how long it will last? Oh, whoops.
That Vidofnir should chance to arrive even as the girl fell. Truly, I could not have planned it better myself.
Ah, good. We were afraid you might have left.
A shield, my lord?
Fit for a true knight. An expression of our gratitude to you and yours, long overdue. But there is something else I would discuss ere you part. Something which cannot leave this room. My father will soon step down as head of our house.
Okay.
Sir Emmerich was not the only one to fall under suspicion following the death of the Archbishop. There are some who believe my father complicit in a coup d'etat. Thus he intends to renounce his title to absolve our house of suspicion and secure the support of our peers.
Surely there must be another way to convince houses Durandare and Zamail.
So I said to him. Alas, he will not budge.
I mean, fair enough.
Ever since I was a child, I knew that I would one day succeed my father. The thought of it filled me with pride. Yet once I learned the day was at hand, my heart was filled with naught but dread. Our legacy is built upon the lies of our forefathers. In accepting this title, am I not perpetuating this injustice? Why should I become the next count?
Knight lives to serve.
You sound just like him. Aye, I suspect that is what Horschiffon would have said. To aid those in need. When you look on that shield, I trust you will remember his words. And should I once more find my resolve wavering, I ask that you show me the way. You are a sister to Horschiffon. Will you be a sister to me as well? Come, Manalaine. There's much to be done. For father, and for Sir Emmerich, and for Ishgard. To think we share the same blood. Pray excuse us. Those were the days of promises and vows, of tentative first steps into an uncertain future. A future shaped by the choices we made, in ways we could never have foreseen. Born of good and evil, of light and darkness, and shepherded by our hand. Be it for weal, or be it for woe.
From the Memoirs of Count Edmond de Forton. Heavensward, as goes light, so goes darkness. This is thy proof, the Garon Oracles, Apocrypha. It is a truth long forgotten, a tale of the beginning of the path we have been set upon. Our fates were ordained long ago, Archon. The Garlands are no exception, nor the Triad, who know what must be done. Well, everyone has their orders. The masks will attack as soon as all units are in position. The Imperials won't know what hit them. I fear it will be bloody. By Ralger, it had better be. Cannot stay here forever, Yida. We have other responsibilities. I know full well what my responsibilities are, and I mean to fulfill them, every one. Interesting. So it goes. I'll go for a little bit longer. Why not? Alphino, you know, I've been looking all over for you. We've received news regarding Flamen, Rory Boulder, and Hiltonet. Really? Has something happened? No, it's nothing bad. Quite the opposite, in fact. It seems that once they learned Scion's good name had been restored, they boarded the next ship bound for Limsolominsa. He should be arriving any moment now. It's easy to to forget how useful link pearls are, isn't it, when they were coming. And you don't mind being spied on. Quite. But what wonderful news. To think that our reunion is close at hand. A pleasure to see you too, Alvino. Oh, Thancred. And Cryo. What brings the two of you here? Cryo and I have been looking into how we might track down Menphilia. And we may just have found the answer. Yuna, when you were fleeing Ul'dah with Menphilia, you said that Hydaelyn spoke to her shortly before you parted ways, yes? Well, assuming that is true, and I see no reason to suspect that it is not. It seems reasonable to conclude that Hydaelyn commanded her to remain behind. That is to say, the Mother Crystal directly interceded to guide Menphilia. Admittedly, this is all still quite hypothetical, but I propose that such intervention, however subtle, must surely leave some residual trace, a lingering disturbance in the ether, or ripple, if you will. In order to establish the existence of such ripples, of course, we will require suitable data. Fortunately, I know where such data can be found. The battleground where Yuna felled the Ultima weapon, in the site of my personal ignominy. It was there that Hydaelyn intervened to shield her from the magic I invoked. Ryle and I will infiltrate the castrum and analyze the ether therein. The two of you? Alone? I have a proven knack for subterfuge, and I am confident there will be sufficient nooks and crannies in which to hide Cryo while the patrols pass. Besides, if you and Yuna come along, you will see to Flammen's grand homecoming. When you put it like that. Very well, I will trust in your plan. I know not whether this data will yield a means to find Menphilia, but it will at the very least eliminate another avenue of inquiry. Tataru and I will return to the Rising Stones and make preparations for our comrades' return. Might I impose upon you to meet them at the Lomenson docks? Then I shall see the four of you at the Rising Stones. Safe travels. We'll go to, well, actually. Oh, Lord. Actually, I think I might call it. Fucking Celine Dion. That's awesome. Oh, Yuna, how have you been? Come here, let me have a good look at you. Thank the 12. One hears the strangest tales in foreign lands. I worried about you every day. We would have sent word sooner, but the braves afforded us no opportunity. When they fell upon us in the market, it was all we could do to escape. Tataru found her way to you, of course, but we were forced to seek shelter aboard a Hanish vessel. It pained us not being there when you needed us most. But we made the most of it, didn't we, Coltonet? Studied and trained from dusk till dawn, we did. We would have sent word sooner, but we knew not whom to trust, and with the vast distance. But those dark days are behind us at last. I shall be glad indeed to return home and speak with my daughter. Yeah, what do you mean she's missing? How could you let this Listen, hold up. Yeah. Like, it's not, I didn't, I'm hardly to blame here. I shall pray for his safe return, and busy myself in the meantime. For a certainty, there's much and more to be done. The braves may have bloodied us, but the path remains, and we shall not be swayed from it. Aye, that's the spirit. To the Scions and a long overdue reunion. Huzzah! Ori Boulder the Goat.
Well done, sir. And with that, I believe we are ready to proceed.
Let us be about our business then. The next patrol may not be so credulous.
Why must you be so disappointingly brusque? You're not at all as Minfilia described, you know. I don't think you've favored me with so much as a single compliment since we set out. Tell me, did your time in the wilderness sap you of all your charm? Or are you holding it in reserve for your beloved?
This is neither the time nor the place.
Well, call me old-fashioned, but when I'm risking life and limb infiltrating an Imperial castrum, I like to be sure of my comrades' motivations.
I see now where Alphino gets it from. Minfilia is dear to me, it is true, but not in the way you think. 15 years passed, when she was still but a child. There was an incident at a parade. A Gubu broke free of its fetters and ran amok through the streets of Ul'dah. Had I been more attentive, I could have prevented it. But I was distracted, and her father was killed. I feared she would never recover. But in the years that followed, she showed herself to be more resilient than I had ever imagined. And when she learned of her gift, she did not flinch from the responsibility, but sought to guide others on the path. She touched the hearts of all around her. Mine, Louisoix, every Scion's. In those dark days following the calamity, she was our guiding light, our hope for a brighter future. She had so many dreams, and I would give anything to make them come true.
My apologies. I can see she means the world to you. I did not mean to pick at old scars.
No harm done, I assure you. But fair is fair, my lady. What is Minfilia to you?
You mean you don't know? Only my dearest friend. When I finally emerged from my torpor, I learned that nary a day had passed without her asking after me. She never gave up hope. And neither will I.
Then for Minfilia's sake, let us pray that these vestiges of Hydalin's intervention will lead us to her.
Didn't want to speak over the cutscene, but he has heterophobia in his eyes. Okay. That's gonna be it for me.